how has sort of business been for you since sort of last Friday with the notification the barriers were going up, and how have you sort of all been feeling, and what's the game plan?
Business has been okay because a lot of people do actually come to Ironbridge to see what's going on.
Yeah.
So you tend to get, a different tourist, if you like, because obviously weekends in particular we attract quite a strong West Midlands based tourist crowd anyway.
Yeah.
So that hasn't really had much of an impact. Yesterday I think was probably a bit quieter than a normal Sunday. Predominantly I think because people were aware that the barriers were up and the covers were up, and at one point the peak was forecast for yesterday. So I think people were a little bit more reticent about coming down yesterday than they were on Saturday.
Yeah.
Today's been steady. It's been fine. Again, I think local people know what to expect, and they know that it's not as potentially scary as the threat of flood always. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to lessen the importance of it, but I think that we do get used to it. And you have a plan in place. And Ironbridge is always flooded, so the fact that we have a temporary barrier makes a big difference. It's a comfort, if you like. I'm not saying it's going to hold all the time, but certainly most of the time it will.
You've prepped everything for the potential, the peak, and so could you sort of talk us through what it is that you've sort of done to prepare this time in comparison to?
Well, because our premises are on 2 levels, it's only one part really that gets affected. Fortunately, we don't have a cellar, so we don't have to worry too much about water coming up through that way, but we do have an issue with water coming through from one of our neighbouring properties. So we literally raise everything off the floor, remove anything that could potentially be damaged by water. We have plenty of sandbags in place, and we closely monitor what the Environment Agency are advising in terms of when the peak is going to be, what the heights are going to be. We just keep a really close eye on things. And if it gets to the point where we think it's going to be risky for customers to get to us or for our staff to be in here, then at that point we close generally.
Yeah. But so far, so good, and fingers
crossed.
So far, so good.
Yeah. Yes, it's not looking quite as ominous as it has in the past. It's a lot better. We have been caught out in the past. But thancfully, touch wood, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and I suppose, as you say, because if you live on the river, you sort of you're used to
and
having
to be honest, it's what you expect. If you're going to have a premises of any kind, whether it's a house or a business or whatever, in a location like this, within the floodplain of a river, you have to be prepared. You have to expect that at some point it is going to rise up. It's not always, everything's not always hunky-dory.
Yeah.
And it's a small price to pay for being in a really beautiful place.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant.
Ben, we're just here outside the White Hart. See the sign there. And how's it looking for you? You're in business still? Yeah?
Business still, yeah. Business as usual. We're still going strong.
And the only issue for you is potentially the path just behind me there. It might rise up a bit and cause a... But we're thinking it's not far off where they were saying it's going to peak, so you're feeling confident?
Feeling safe. Business as usual. Should be fine.
What about trade? Has it not trade? Or?
It has, yeah. Definitely not trade. A bit quieter than usual.
Yeah.
But it's as expected with the barriers.
Yeah.
But we do what we can.
To what tune? Can you put a figure on what you might have expected that you might be down on the...
We're losing probably about 30 lunch covers and about 20 dinner covers most days.
Quite significant then. So
it's about half what we would normally be doing. But
how many dinner covers was that, sorry?
We're losing about 20 dinner covers, 30 lunch covers.
And does it just come with having a business in Ironbridge? The joy is you get the tourists, but the downside is...
It's a cold, wet winter, but we at least the barriers are here to keep us nice and dry.
Yeah. Hello guys, you're on holiday here from London. Come down to see the sunny hills of Shropshire. Getting slightly distracted, this beautiful bridge behind us, by the water levels. What are you making of it all?
It's very high.
It is, isn't it? Have you ever seen a river quite as swollen as this before?
No.
And what do you think about those flood defences? Are you impressed at what they've done?
Yeah, they seem to be doing a good job, don't they?
Yeah. So are you familiar with Shropshire?
No.
No? First time, yeah?
Yeah.
First visit for them, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think about what you've seen of the river then, guys? You kind of surprised? I mean, I guess you knew it was going to be high, but
We knew you'd have the storm. We knew, but I think we've been surprised just how high and how
How
flooded.
fast
Yeah.
the current is.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, how the houses are sort of flooded out on the opposite side, they look like.
yeah.
But the flood defences seem to be helping, which is good.
It is amazing what they do with those now.
yeah.
And have you got? Is there anything kind of your way? Is it? Where do
We're
you,
Enfield, North
Enfield.
London.
Is there anything your way which has a similar issue with the flooding and the rivers? Or
Not really. No.
We don't have the hills, the runoff, obviously.
Yeah.
It's much flatter. So,
Yeah, it's quite urban for you guys.
yeah, indeed.
Well, so it hasn't detracted from the spectacle of Ironbridge. I guess in a way it's another
added.
feature, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
a positive addition.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
Well, that's it. Well, they do. I mean, obviously the businesses, it puts some people off, but they also rely on some people saying, "Oh, let's go and have a look," and then while they're here getting a cup of tea. So, are you going to be spending any money in the shops today?
What have we already spent?
Yeah.
We've
Sausage
done
Yeah.
sausage rolls so far.
So that's got to be Ellie's.
Ellie's,
Yeah.
Fine sausage roll.
Yeah.
Fine sausage roll. There we go. We get. And what are you going to be spending your money on, chicken?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. That's a good
Yeah,
shout.
sausage roll and ice cream. That's
Never too
Right.
cold for ice creams.
Never.
We'll go and let you support the businesses of Ironbridge. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you very much.
So, Matt, we got your place of employment behind you, the boat in,
Yep.
and underwater again. But this is just same old, isn't it? To a degree, you
It's
know.
been well practiced.
Yeah.
So everything was taken away on Saturday and Sunday. All the locals pitched in to help. They'll all pitch in to help when the floodwaters recede.
Yeah.
And without the people that come and look after us and drink with us and play with us and party with us, the pub wouldn't be what it is today.
Yeah.
It's a great place to work. It's a great place to come and visit. And it's just a shame that we have to put up with this. But it's an
Yeah.
interesting feature of the pub. It brings people down. People come to see all the flood levels and the historic flood levels. And as I say, we're well practiced. We know what we're doing. And hopefully, in 3 or 4 days' time, we'll be back up and running and serving the public
Inviting
again.
everyone back in again.
Absolutely,
Love
the party will go on.
it. Yes.
Well, actually, speaking of parties, Santa will be at the pub at Christmas in a grotto.
Well, we're just getting ready. So Father Christmas, it might look like a pond at the minute.
Yeah.
But that is going to be the best grotto in Shropshire. We're going
Yeah.
to have elves. We're going to have Father
Yeah.
Christmas, Mother Christmas. The real sleigh from the North Pole is coming here, and hopefully this river will behave.
And there was going to be a Halloween party, but
There was.
it might be a bit up in the air on that one.
I think Halloween this year is postponed.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll
yeah.
just crack on with Christmas.
Yeah. And you were saying once you clean up operation with the community's help, you said, which is massive support. 2 days and you can be back.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
2 or 3 days. It'll be a stretch. It'll be hard work, but we can do it.
Yeah.
And we've got a fantastic band of locals that will all roll up their sleeves, come and get dirty, and we'll be back open to the public just as soon as possible.
And Mario, the owner, he's been here a year and a half. Is this his first flood?
No, it's not his first flood.
Yeah.
But he's become he's had to be a fast learner. He's
Yeah.
become an expert on the floods.
Yeah.
And he's led the team brilliantly, and
Yeah.
he leads the pub brilliantly. He's very much the centre of the community here, and we
So-
love him for it.
So the word on the street is the boat in, soon to be back open for business. Get down and spend some
Absolutely,
money.
get yourselves down. Get yourselves down. Best pint in Shropshire.